Hello everyone. Many of you have probably watched the film Saving Private Ryan, a ranger squad who have the task of finding a MI soldier called James Francis Ryan and bring him back home safely. 3 of his brothers have been killed in action, and the U.S. Department of War orders his immediate evacuation and discharge from the Army in order to spare his family from the loss of all sons. What if I told you that there's a much less known, almost identical story, but where the protagonists are 4 German soldiers during the same conflict? This is the story of the von Blücher brothers. Wolfgang, Lebrecht and Hans Joachim were 3 German brothers and paratroopers, Fallschirmjäger. They were sadly killed in combat within hours of each other on May 21, 1941, during the Battle of Crete. Wolfgang, the oldest brother, born on January 31, 1917, was already a highly decorated and veteran paratrooper by the time the invasion of Crete launched. He had already served in the Norwegian campaign, most notably at the battles of Narvik and at the Battle of the Netherlands. He was awarded the first and the second class of the Iron Cross and the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross for extreme battlefield bravery. He was a Oberleutnant of the reserves by the time of his death. His brothers Lebrecht and Hans Joachim were born on April 13, 1922 and 23 October, 1923 respectively. The Battle of Crete was their first active deployment. On May 21, 1941, during the Battle of Crete, Hans Joachim von Blücher attempted to resupply his brother, Oberleutnant Wolfgang Graf von Blücher, with ammunition when the latter and his platoon were surrounded by members of the British Black Watch. Hans Joachim, who had arrived early morning with the second wave of paratroopers on his first active deployment, had commandeered a horse, which he attempted to gallop through British lines. He had almost reached his brother's position before he was shot and killed. According to the account of the story, the Fallschirmjäger, running short of ammunition and medical supplies, were amazed to see a rider and horse galloping towards them with boxes of supplies. The soldiers of the Black Watch were similarly stunned and only fired at the last moment, hitting both horse and rider. Wolfgang von Blücher asked who the rider was, to be told it was his youngest brother Hans Joachim, and that he was now dead. For many years afterwards, a number of poor families living in a shanty village in the area reported seeing a ghostly horse and rider. Wolfgang and his men of the Fallschirmjäger regiment ran out of ammunition. The rest of their platoon was overrun by British armored vehicles and killed around midday. Wolfgang's younger brother, Lebrecht Graf von Blücher, had also arrived with the second wave. He was reported killed in action on the same day, but his body was never recovered. 4 weeks after the battle, the brothers' mother, Gertrude von Nordheim, widowed Gräfin von Blücher, who had lost her husband in 1924, was informed that 3 of her 4 sons had been killed on the same day in the Battle of Crete. Her 4th son, Adolf Graf von Blücher, was released from duty and left the German Navy, Kriegsmarine, to take care of the agricultural firm at home. He was accidentally shot and killed in 1944 while hunting. Here ends their tragic story, heroes in death. In 1974, Wolfgang and Hans Joachim were reinterred in a single grave at the German War Cemetery on a hill behind the airfield at Malame, Crete, which was newly inaugurated on 6 October, in the presence of their sister Gertrude Freifrau von Kettelhot and hundreds of guests from Germany. Because Lebrecht's body was never retrieved or identified, his name is on a plaque of honor for the unknown fallen close to the grave of his brothers. The sister named her sons after her brothers. The von Blücher brothers were direct descendants of the Prussian general Gebhard Lebrecht von Blücher, who is most famous for leading the Prussian army to victory in the Battle of Waterloo in the Napoleonic Wars, 1815.